Hey guys, welcome back to Sam's Garden Project. My name is Sam and I am growing slash gardening slash homesteading on a suburban block in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. So welcome back to my channel. In my last video we did a bit of a garden harvest and so now I'm going to be pulling up some of my old plants, the dead cucumbers and the dead tomatoes, and then we'll refresh the beds. I don't know whether I'll get to planting out the winter seedlings or not. We've got those trays, they're ready to go. They're just growing along. They're not too fast, they're not getting too big for the trays, so I'm happy to leave them in the trays for a little bit longer. But the main thing is making space for them, so we'll clear out those beds and yeah, we'll see what happens, see what else we get to. I feel like ripping out some plants because it's the end of the season and it's just time to rip out some plants. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with the cucumber bed. I've got my clippers and I've got a little trowel. I'm just going to go and clip them at the roots to try and preserve some of that root soil health which is non-existent in these beds, which, let's be real. So I'm going to cut the roots of the cucumbers and we'll go from there. So I am going to leave this kind of trellis that I made for the cucumbers. I've got snow peas ready to go out, but my bed that has the trellis on it, that one there at the back, it's got loofahs growing on it and it's also got some snake beans which are just small, so they're not ready to harvest yet. So I don't really want to put the snow peas in, which are fast growing, and take over the trellis on that bed. So my first lot of snow peas can go in this bed here and just use the trellis, little like rope, I forgot the word for it, this little trellis that I made as a support, and then my second lot of snow peas can go in that bed over there. Now to do the tomatoes. First I'm going to pull out all the stakes and then we'll get to ripping out the plants. I'm just going to pull everything out, the roots and all, because tomatoes can have disease on their roots and I'd rather just rip it all out because the plants weren't very healthy anyway, like throughout the growing season. So let's get into it. Well, that was easy. Alright, now to pull all these out. Alright, so this bed's all done. And we've got the pile of dead plants. I think what I'm going to do is I've got a couple bags, I think 2 bags of sheep poo left over from my auntie. I'm going to put them on this whole bed and this half the bed, and we'll put some button bone and maybe we'll just let it sit for a bit. I'm not going to plan anything out today because I feel like it's about to rain. That's okay. We'll freshen up the beds and I think that'll be it. Unless I see something else that I want to pull out. But it's like such a release of frustration when you're ripping out plants from the ground. It's great. Highly recommend. Beautiful sheep and horse poo. Let's just spread this out everywhere. The birds are going to come along and dig this up everywhere. I can just see it. I also pulled out that zucchini that was here. I ended up ripping off the growing tip like the very end when I harvested that zucchini in my last video. So I just wanted to get rid of it because I've got some fresh zucchini in the ground. And I don't know whether it was going to grow or not, and it had a lot of dead leaves, so it was just annoying me, so out it came. But this looks good. Some fresh manure. We'll do the same in this bed here. Alright, this one's all topped up with manure as well. I might get some button bone. I've got a big packet from Bunnings that I bought a couple weeks ago, and I'll just put a sprinkle on both just to top it up with some button bone, and then some, I'm not sure whether to layer it with a layer of sugarcane mulch because nothing's planted in it yet. I don't think I will, but when I plant I'll let it sit for a couple of days, and then when I do plant I'll put a layer of sugarcane on top. But let's get the blood and bone and we'll put a sprinkle on. So I'm sprinkling some blood and bone on these garden beds because I'm going to be planting out winter brassicas such as broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi, and a few other things. But brassicas are heavy feeders and they require a lot of fertilizer and feed and nutrients for them to grow healthy and big. So in preparation of these seedlings going in these beds, I'm putting some blood and bone in. I know my audio is not always great. There's dogs barking, or there's lawnmowers going, or there's birds chirping, or the wind is howling into the microphone of my camera. I am trying to save up and buy a microphone that can plug into my camera just to try and muffle the noise a bit, but that's what happens when you're in the suburbs. I am a suburban gardener and there's people all around me. I'm not isolated like some other people, and I have neighbours and there's a school across the road and there's noise. I'm also going to cut these flowers out because they are dead. There's still some flower on them, but they come to the end of their life. I'm going to top them up and we're going to plant something, maybe like a chicken feed or green manure on the top so the chickens can peck around in it during winter. or maybe even some winter flowers, some baby's breath, the seedlings that I have. We'll just see what happens, but let's cut this down. So if you want to help contribute towards a new microphone for me, my Buy Me a Coffee link I'll put in the description box. So one more thing I want to get out is this big silver beet that's planted in with my apple tree in a pot. It's just gone massive and it's going to seed. So let's see if we can get it out. Look at how big the stem got. Huge. And I'm going to put that in the chicken coop, but for now they can enjoy it on the grass. Try and get the rest of this out. We'll use the serrated edge and we'll just try and saw through the thick stem. That's a better image of how thick the stalk is. I'm not going to be able to get the rest of that out. I'm going to let it try and decompose in place. I'll put a layer of like compost on top, and whew, that was hard work. But that was definitely time to go. Chickens have alerted me to something else that I wanted to pull out, which is all these beans that have been here for months. They have no more fruit on them, so the chickens were scratching around the end here. So let's pull this out. I'm going to leave these new ones that I planted in, so let them grow, but the rest of these can all come out. One thing I do appreciate about the chickens digging in my garden beds is that they dig up all the potatoes that I don't even know are in there. So that's some decent potatoes. And I know that they are, oh my god, I know that they are everywhere in these beds, but I don't know where they are unless I pull them, and then when I pull them up it doesn't get all the roots anyway. Oh my gosh, there's heaps in here. I'm gonna have a little potato harvest. Unintentional potato harvest. Seriously, if you just keep digging, there's potatoes. That's amazing. I didn't realize there was so much in here. I think that might be it. But that's alright. Good job, chickies. You've earned your freedom today. Sometimes they make a mess, sometimes they find potatoes. So I'm pulling these ones out, but I'm gonna take the beans off them because these ones are relatively fresh and they are probably good size for eating. So there's this plant and this plant. This one's got heaps on it. All smallish, but I'm gonna pull it out. I've pulled it out already, but I'm gonna take all the fruit off them so that we have some beans to grow with our potatoes. See, this is a potato. So when I pull it out, it's just the root. It's not actually even potatoes, so the potatoes are further down. So a good thing about the chickens is that they scratch around, loosen the soil, and dig up the potatoes for me. I might get them up in here and loosen up this soil. Not down that end. Down here. No. Down there. Good chicken. Thank you. Don't rebury my potatoes. Yeah, look. You can't win them all. But I'm gonna have to come and sweep all this up and put it back in the bed. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. It's been very productive. We've managed to clear out 2 of the veggie beds, which is visually just so much better. It just looks so much clearer, fresh, ready to go with some winter seedlings. It feels good to have worked a sweat up in the garden, pulling out some plants. It feels good to just rip things out after not a very productive summer season, unfortunately. It's been too cold for anything to really grow. Some of the summer veggies, the only thing that's really done really well is the zucchinis and the jalapenos and the chamomile. Everything else has been a bit average, but oh well. And moving on to winter veggies, which I actually think I prefer winter crops. They take longer to grow, but I prefer eating cauliflower, broccoli, snow peas. They're just more my cup of tea. So anyway, if you like this video, please like, share it to your friends and family, and also subscribe for more videos. If you want to press the bell button, apparently that lets you know if I upload a video. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys!